Well, best ball drafters, we are live on the Monkey Spectrum Sports YouTube page, driving to the Productions YouTube page as we take you on another best ball adventure. Before I bring in Andrew, please subscribe, like, and share. Driving to the Top Productions, Monkey Spectrum Sports YouTube page, because we're hosting and providing great sports content across a variety of sports, whether it be football, baseball, WWE, boxing, whatever sport you want. Also, check out the Big D podcast for all your audio listeners, Spotify and Apple. So, joining us, Best Ball Mania IV finalists and Fanspeak content creator Andrew Raub. So, Andrew, it's June, middle of June, so you know what that means. We've got to draft 9,000 best ball teams.
Yeah, have drafted a lot and will be definitely drafting a lot. I think I saw we have 78 days until the start of the season. So when you look at it that way, depending on how many drafts you want to get in, you can really narrow it down to how many you have to have per day leading up to the NFL season. So it's grind time, man. It's time to make sure you're doing 2 or 3 a day, sporadically. So I know on the Fanspeak network we are putting together something that we're going to be trying to do some 6 to 8 hour blocks, where we're going to be doing a bunch of drafts at a time. So we'll be getting our numbers for sure.
Yeah, it seems like best ball's taken off because a couple years ago I didn't even know what best ball was. Now it's like there were 50 on Underdog. There's an incredible number of tournaments happen with all kinds of budgets. Drafters has got big best ball entries. I wish DraftKings best ball tournament itself was a little better because it seems like because last year's tournament didn't fill, but best ball has just taken off the last couple of years.
It definitely has. Yeah, it's a lot of people I talk to that play regular redraft and stuff. It's honestly become their favorite way to play fantasy football, just because everyone loves the draft. Everyone loves getting in there, building their team. A lot of people don't like grinding waivers or figuring out what to do when you have an injury. So yeah, a lot of people are loving best ball. It's only growing. There's more and more content coming out, from a lot of different people. A lot of, the fantasy community has jumped over to the best ball world. So it's awesome to see. I'm excited to see where best ball goes, and it's really cool to see people help other people out, within the space as well. I had to start with somebody and they gave me a shot. So it's a really cool community. Twitter space is cool for all that as well. But yeah, man, best ball is awesome. It's the best way to play fantasy, in my opinion.
Yeah, plus, just as the late Paul Pierre used to say with Ronco, you can set it and forget it.
That's right.
Because guess what? When you're done drafting, you don't have to trade anybody. You don't have to hope your week 19 running back or week 19 quarterbacks is there. You don't have to trade for a bye week quarterback, which we all hate. Bye week quarterback, which we all hate. But I mean, and you can do different stats. Like you could do smash running back, hero running back, or what seemingly everybody likes to do, zero running back, where you don't take a running back the first third of the draft or so.
Yeah, definitely. It's cool that there's so many different ways to skin a cat, essentially, right? Like it's a lot of different ways to build a best ball team. So yeah, it's exciting. It's cool, where it's going, and man, I love drafting. It's the best.
It seems like the position that that's really evolved is tight end, figuring out where to draft the tight end, because last year it seemed like Travis Kelce was the top tight end. But now they're all 4 or 5 top tight ends. You got Kelce, Sam Laporta, Mark Andrews, Trey McBride, Dalton Kincaid. And it seemingly, I'm trying to make my mission of getting at least one of those guys in every draft.
Yeah, I mean, I agree because like this year, I do think that it's more important than most years to grab an elite tight end. I mean, in years past, we've been able to grab a bunch of tight ends late at the end of the draft and get lucky. I don't really see that there's too many guys at the end of drafts that I think can really help your team, get to a tight end one finish. So I'm in the camp as well that I'd like to grab one of my top like 8 or 9 tight ends before they fall off. So yeah, I've been doing that a lot.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think. After the top 5, it'd be probably
So you got
Kittle.
Kittle,
You know,
Ferguson, Ingram, wherever you slot in Njoku down there. But yeah, like after the top 5, it's for me, it's my top 9. It's once it hits like the Njoku area, I kind of really fall off tight end personally for production in my eyes.
yeah, and plus, depending on what stack you go, like let's just say you go in Mahomes Kelsey stack, you can bring it back with somebody from Pittsburgh. Let's see, George Pickens and George Pickens. He's okay.
Yeah. Not a bad way to bring that back to. But I mean, again, you can get unique with it. You could go, if you do take the KC stack, you could then take Fryermuth or Warren, Roman Wilson, any of those guys. I like to get a little unique with some of my bringbacks because I don't want to have the same thing everyone else does if I make the finals for week 17. I want it to be a little different. So I like to mix it up.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I've done, I did a draft where I got a Kyler Murray stack, but loved getting back at DeMarcus Robinson because he was a red zone machine for the Rams last year. Or if you get one of these, Mark Andrews, maybe. I mean, unfortunately, I think Houston and Baltimore have the same bye week, so you can go Mark Andrews and like a Dalton Schultz. You don't have to draft one of Diggs, Nico Collins, or Tank Dell.
Yeah, no, agreed.
What's your favorite stack to draft this year?
I don't really have a favorite stack, but I can tell you, like I've been doing a lot of stacking of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're very easy to stack. You don't have to pay up really for anybody. The first person that goes is Travis Etienne, but I don't even feel like you really need to have him to stack. I like taking Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Brian Thomas Jr., and then Trevor Lawrence goes so much later than I feel like you really should as far as, the QB positional space is concerned. So I love taking the Jags. I really feel like they are at a value right now.
Hey, I'm glad you said Jags. Being a Jags fan, I mean, I've got a Jag towel on my chair, but it seems like there are a couple quarterbacks going way undervalued. Like Justin Herbert feels like he's way too low because you could get Herbert in the 5th round. Now he's going 10, 11, 12th round. I mean, Trevor's in that same realm. I've seen Joe Burrow go in like the 8th, 9th round, and I'm like, how can that be? Because Joe Burrow is a top 3 quarterback, maybe not fantasy-wise, because Joe Burrow's not going to run around like Josh Allen, Lamar, Jalen Hurts. But when healthy, Joe Burrow, to me, is the 3rd best quarterback in football. And let's see, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Can't do any better than that, right?
Yeah. And, if you like rookies, Jermaine Burton's a hot topic as well for them. So, yeah, definitely.
You want to hop in a draft?
Yeah, let's do it. If you want to try to pull it up on the screen. Do you pull it up on the screen normally?
$20 a pop. I think this is Millionaire draft number 21 for me. So hopefully we end up in the same one, right?
Yeah, I guess I'll wait for you to enter in and we'll see what it looks like, and then I'll enter in. So worst case scenario, I'll just draft with you, but I feel like we'll be all right.
Should we hit it at the same time, or would that be? Or would that?
Yeah, sure, we can. Yeah, I mean, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, count it down. Go in.
3, 2, 1, go.
Mine says 2 of 12.
I'm in 2 of 12.
All right, so it's just you and I right now. I think we got a little bit of time until this thing fills for us here.
Are you King A23?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in the same draft. Like, it was weird. Like,
wow, show me that again. How'd you just get in and see that? Again, I'm from the underdog streets. You can't see who's in your draft until it starts. Where do you see
contest details? Go to entrance.
Oh, okay, man. You just learned me something right there. Okay, that's interesting. Again, I'm not much of a DK drafter, so I'm trying to learn the DK streets a little bit here. But oh, that's cool. I wish Underdog had that a little bit. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, I did a draft with one of my buddies the other night and got Jamal Chase at the 107, and I couldn't believe like somebody drafted Brees Hall at 101, and I'm like, what the?
That's interesting.
And then I did a draft with somebody with a buddy from the UK last week, and Jameer Gibbs went 104, and I'm like, oof. Honestly, if I don't get one of Christian McCaffrey, Bijan, or Brees Hall, I'm probably going wide receiver anytime.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And same thing in fantasy. Like I may go zero running back. I'm like, what? I mean, is it an automatic pick McCaffrey at 101? Or do you just want to mix it up?
As of right now, I'm always going McCaffrey, but if I were to happen to get a bunch of the one pick, I will mix it up, because I don't want to be overexposed to McCaffrey and underexposed to Lamb. But as of right now, I haven't gotten enough to really switch off. So it's yeah, it's definitely CMC for me right now.
Yeah, I wanna mix it up. Like that's what I do with the 103 because you can get Tyreek Hill, Chase, Amon, maybe even some Justin Jefferson. Uh, Let me see who else is in this draft.
All right, let's see. Loading draft. All right, so I have the 2 pick.
And I've got 11.
Okay, so we are in the same spot, just opposite ends of the draft.
Well, based on your selection, this should be a problem, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, it's either CMC or Lamb here for me, depending on if this guy takes Lamb, I'll go CMC. But yeah, I'll take either one. Fine by me. Now I'm a Washington fan, so it always does hurt me to take a Dallas player.
Of course it does, right?
Yeah, I don't love seeing them do well, but I tell you what, I like money a whole lot, and I'd be dumb to not take some of these Cowboys players because they do tend to have some good weeks. So yeah, I do hate it though. It spurns my soul, my football soul.
I mean, at the 111, I don't know if I've gotten the 111. What do you think would be the way I should go here?
I mean, if whatever wide receiver is there, I like Puka, Brown, and Wilson. I would take any of those guys personally, whoever's left. If none of those guys are there and one of those running backs fall for whatever reason, then I would go that way. But in DK, the way that I've read the rules anyway, PPR, you get those bonuses. Those wide receivers are so valuable.
Yeah. You know what my favorite stack? Well, you know what my favorite way to start this draft would be? Go Puka, then Marvin Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only problem is, let's just say you draft A.J. Brown. I mean, part of me would think you want to draft Saquon Barkley, but Jalen Hurts is going to eat up a lot of rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because like I think DeAndre Swift was made. Okay, so he went CMC, so I am going to go Lamb here. I think last year, with DeAndre Swift being there, I think the Eagles made DeAndre Swift a little better than what he actually is. So in my thought process, they should do the same thing for Saquon Barkley. I mean, he's already awesome. I'm a Penn State fan as well, so I watch Saquon Barkley a ton in Penn State. I think he's much better than DeAndre Swift. So I think that they should use him more around the goal line. And why use Jalen Hurts so much and get him killed potentially? You no longer have Jason Kelsey. So their bread and butter for why the tush push worked is no longer there. So I don't think that they're gonna do that at such efficient levels anymore. So I actually think Saquon Barkley is a very good pick. People are down on him and they're like, he's not going to get so much work. They're not going to pass the ball to him a ton. I think it's actually the opposite. So I'm in on the Barkley camp as opposed to people being out on him.
And plus, I mean, you look at New York's offense with Daniel Jones last year. I don't think Daniel Jones could throw the ball more than 3 yards downfield. Now he's got a much better quarterback, much better wide receivers, the best offensive line of his career.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be on the clock here soon. Probably Garrett Wilson for me. Yeah, week 12, week 6, week 12, and week 14 are going to be fun for fantasy this year.
Yep. No, I agree with that.
Now I'm wondering who I should go next. I mean, should I just hammer wide receivers or get one of these backs? Like, what would you do here? I draft Gunners.
Man, honestly, I would take whatever wide receiver you like best, and then kind of go from there. Depending on who you take, if there's any correlation, I would try to correlate. Yeah, I mean, whatever wide receiver you like best is who I would take here personally.
Thinking Drake London. I'm thinking Drake London. I'm thinking Drake London here. I know because I think it's easy to stack the Falcons this year. I feel like Kirk Cousins, assuming he's healthy, will be a quarterback upgrade because I don't know about you, but the Falcons, I think we've all lost a lot of money on the Falcons.
Yeah.
Huh. What do you think about Bijan and Brees Hall this year? Like, which guy would you trust more?
Bijan.
Oh,
Just because I think he's gonna get more workload. And also I think that Aaron Rodgers is gonna want to pass the ball around the goal line a little bit more. He always has, throughout his career, as opposed to Kirk Cousins. So yeah, I like Bijan more than Brees Hall.
yeah, and also probably a better offensive coordinator. Zach Robinson there. They're more weapons. I don't trust the Jet offensive line. Do you think Tyron Smith's playing 17 games? No.
I mean, it's always hard to predict an injury, but yeah, I mean, I can understand the concern there.
So you are not that far away.
Yeah, I got one pick till me here.
You're thinking here. Oh, first quarterback.
Oh, interesting. Oh man, that's always hard here. I don't have a lot of Brandon Ayuk, so I'm probably gonna do that to be a little different for myself here. And just kind of hope that he either stays in San Francisco or gets moved to a team where he's gonna see a decent amount of volume.
Yeah, I did a draft the other night where I went Chase, Ayuk, Laporta, Higgins, Kittle, and Burrow first 6 picks. I'm not believing these rumors that Ayuk will be gone there. Kelsey first tight end.
Oh my gosh. You know what? Let's get weird. I'm gonna go Debo and hope that Ayuk gets moved.
Diggs. Wow, he took Lamar than Diggs. Is he thinking about getting more Andrews on the way back?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, that was cool. You know what I'm thinking of doing here? And I know you know what I'm thinking? If Garrett Wilson Garrett Wilson already went 11. I'm thinking of just getting my stack out of the way. I'm thinking of going Josh Allen and Dalton Kincaid. Like if I draft Josh Allen, I'm trying to get Dalton Kincaid on every team.
Yeah, I like Kincaid a whole lot as well. I always hate reaching on a tight end though because a lot of tight ends end up falling. So I always try to not remind myself to not go crazy and grab somebody well ahead.
I'm going to end up with 3 Week 12 guys. I mean, and maybe more. Yeah, you want to get the tight end value if possible. Huh. So, I mean, should I go Kincaid here or should I go somewhere else?
Oh man. Again, I mean, it's it's up to you. You always want to be a little different. You don't want to just keep taking the same people. And I also wouldn't like go too far ahead of ADP. So, I mean, yeah, it's tough.
I mean, but then that way I've already got my stack out of the way. I've got the stack and the bring back with Garrett Wilson. The only problem is I can't draft Aaron Rodgers because he's on a Week 12 bye week.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in the 5th round, I'm thinking to get your boy Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, Terry. It's awesome. Love Terry.
You know, it's weird. I did 150 drafts last year and did not draft Travis Etienne once. I don't think I drafted him once. Like, Travis Etienne's one of the hardest guys for me to judge.
Yeah, I mean, it is tough. I was a big Bigsby believer back, last year, and then they just
Me
didn't really
too.
use him. But I still feel like there's value in Bigsby. Hopefully they can figure out how to use him a little better. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird situation there with the running backs because I feel like they could really just pass the ball around a ton if they really wanted to. But I mean, I know Trevor Lawrence and ETN were boys in college, so that makes me think that they're going to want to give him the opportunity to to still throw the ball to him. But yeah, very weird. All right. Well, I am going to go ahead and take Christian Kirk. Love Christian Kirk here.
Oh, you're going to take my boy.
Yeah, I love Christian Kirk. Plus, on DK, it's PPR. He's a PPR guy. Now what to do here? Higgins. There's a lot of guys on the board I absolutely love here. Pickens has fallen, but think I'm gonna go with McBride. I have drafted some of him on UD. I don't have any on DK yet, as this is again my third draft. So took McBride there. No running backs yet. I told you I do zero RB a lot. Here I am just once again doing it.
And I don't think you'll be going 0RB with your next 2 picks, right? Because knowing your build, you're probably going to try and get Dak and Tony and Jake Ferguson, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe you never know. You never know.
Oh, poop. I mean, if T. Higgins is there in 2 more picks, I'm going to grab him. Tell you what, I don't know what to do with Josh Jacobs this year. I have no idea what to do with Josh Jacobs this year.
I've been staying away from him. I want to see what camp shows us because I also like Marshawn Lloyd a lot. So I'm steering clear of that for now.
I don't know. I really don't like any of these running backs. I'm gonna get me Chris Godwin. I don't know. What's your take on the Tennessee wide receivers? Because I kind of like DeAndre Hopkins more.
Yeah, they play different roles, so it's kind of tough to compare them to. But yeah, I would say I prefer Hopkins over Ridley. But I can see the allure of Ridley as well. The coaching staff has kind of talked him up a little bit. So So have you had success in any of these contests yet?
Last year, 40 of my teams made week 15, only one reached week 16, and that team didn't even look that great. I'm like, that was so annoying because I'm like, there were so many different combinations, but week 15 was a disaster.
Yeah, yeah. And do you enter any of the other DK contests or only this one?
I do the 20 max.
Okay. Do you do any DFS at all or just best
Yes.
ball?
Oh, there goes Stack. I'm sure me that took your quarterback, right?
Yeah, that kind of sucked right there a little bit.
Uh,
What do I want to do here? You know what? I'm taking Jake Ferguson just to pair up with Lamb.
then you won't have to draft a tight end, right?
Yep, different bye weeks. Don't have to worry about drafting another tight end. Unless I really want to, but don't think I'm gonna. All right, and then I am going to take Murray here to do that stack before that gets taken away from me. I really want to take wide receiver there because I like a couple of those guys left, but I'll be all right with what I have so far.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna look at getting another wide receiver and then probably take a back round 8. I mean, what do you think about all starts? Obviously, we've gone similar. 0 running, 0 OB.
The what?
0 OB. I mean, we've been sniped a couple times. I mean, look, been sniped a couple times. Dak went one pick in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's still fine. You know, I don't ever really get too upset about getting sniped like that because the way I look at it is I know that there's teams in the back half of the draft that I can really stack and put together if I really need to. So I really don't, get too worried about that. But yeah, I mean, this is just a risk you take with 0 RB too, is like how far are RBs going to really go down the board? Will you get any values? If not, how do you want to kind of come back and build your team with running backs? But I feel like in this format, I'm not too concerned about running backs here. I mean, there's still PPR guys left that I like down the board. So if I have to put together 7 RBs that aren't starters, I'm still okay with that because you can usually get 2 of those to score you points throughout the year. So not too concerned yet.
Yeah, I took Deontay Johnson. because I think because he'll be the number one in Carolina. I feel like Deontay's undervalued in a way, and get that Week 17 correlation with Tampa and Carolina.
Yeah, definitely.
Now I will take my first running back. If he doesn't take him, I will take Raheem Mostert. I don't think Raheem Mostert is going to put up a crazy amount of touchdowns this year. 21 touchdowns, but he feels like he's undervalued when H-Chain is going so high. Like
Yeah,
we all,
I mean, yeah, and I agree. I agree with that. Mostert's a good value because I don't think he's going to get 21 or 22 touchdowns, right? But could he see 12 yet? Yeah, and getting that here, that's very good value. So I like Mostert a lot. I've taken him a lot on underdog.
particularly on underdog, where it's more touchdown dependent,
Yes.
and you don't get the crazy bonuses. It's only half point PPR.
Yep. Yeah. What's your splits between underdog and DK? Do you do like
I'm
80-20 or
I'm virtually all DK. I think I've
okay?
done one underdog draft. That was for a buddy of mine.
Okay. Is there a reason why you don't like underdog or why you don't draft on there?
No, well, until recently, we couldn't even do underdog in Florida.
Oh, really? I thought you could because Justin Herzig lives there, and I mean he's been doing it for a while. I thought.
Yup.
Yeah, I'm gonna take just because I have the stacks already. I'm gonna go ahead and draft Brock Purdy. I hate going two QBs like that. But different bye week, so it's fine. And it allows me to not have to take a third if I really don't want to. But got the stack there, and now coming back. So this is where it gets interesting for me is that I'm taking a running back. I would normally take Harris, but Eckler and Warren are a little bit more PPR driven. You know what? I'm still going to take Harris just because I think he's the guy.
That has got to be annoying to figure out which guy is going to be numero uno in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Wait. You know what I'm thinking? Yeah. Oh, he. Um.
What are you thinking of doing here?
I think. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I really want to go two Tennessee Tennessee players, DeAndre Hopkins and Spears or Pollard. Like, I don't know what to do there. I like Spears more.
Yeah. I mean, a little bit better value as well.
I think I'm going to take Brian Robinson. I'm going to take Brian Robinson here. I don't know what to do. Do I take. I mean, you okay having two Tennessee players? I mean, you drafted two Cowboys without the stack.
Yeah, I'm okay having two Tennessee players. I mean, the way that I look at it on that is, we're already in what round 9-10 here, so it's not going to kill you having two of those guys. They're probably going to be in some shootouts because their defense isn't going to be very good, and their team overall is probably going to be losing a bunch of games, I imagine. So they're going to be throwing the ball, and they're going to be wanting to, try to have some explosive plays. So I'm actually okay with that. That doesn't hurt, I don't think.
Let me see, like. Yeah, it's funny. I didn't draft Brian Robson at all last year. I'm trying to get more of him. I mean, Brian Robson's one guy I did not want to draft last year, but I think Washington as a whole will be better offensively. I'm not just saying it because you're here, but the quarterback, the wide receivers. I mean, the offensive line is still going to be a work in progress.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, they're going to want to run the ball. They're not going to want to put a ton on Jaden Daniels. I don't think. I mean, they're going to let him air the ball out. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think they're going to want to put a ton on a rookie QB coming in when they have two running backs that are serviceable, to ground and pound essentially. So I think that both the running backs are actually of value where they go because of how the offense is probably going to run through them. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like both of them, and honestly, that's a battle I'm watching for camp is to see which one runs more with the ones, which ones in the packages around the goal line, who's in on the red zone packages. That'll kind of help me differentiate the two. Damn, Jerome Ford went. That was somebody I was hoping would fall back. I'm very big on Jerome Ford this year.
Yeah. Oh, I love when everybody snipes all players. That's just fun.
It is. It's something.
Oh, and you know what my biggest pet peeve is? Auto drafting. I hate when there's an auto draft.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right. I don't like Kyron Williams a lot, so I'm gonna draft Blake Corum. Think he could see volume there.
Yeah, I've drafted decent amount of Coleman. In fact, the other night I drafted Coleman and DeMarcus Robinson. I'm like, oh crap! I didn't realize that I drafted two Rams. I'm like, darn it!
Yeah, I mean, again, I think that's okay. You're gonna want to have some team stacks too. All right, so now I'm up here. Palmer or Myers? I'll take Palmer. Take the shot on Palmer here.
Wait. Holy cow! Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence are still on the board. What?
Sure are.
That wouldn't have happened last year.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts how different drafts are from year to year.
Amen. I'm thinking of waiting another round, a couple rounds to get my other quarterback. I'm thinking of getting Baker. Like, nobody wants to draft Baker Mayfield. I'm like, I'm fine drafting him.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, shoot, that's who I wanted, Zeke. Thinking of getting Zach Charbonnet here, the running back from Seattle. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
think Charbonnet is better than Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, he could be. I mean, again, another solid RB2 that could take over for a guy who, hasn't always stayed healthy in his career.
Yep. And then you mentioned Jags. I'm finally going to get. If Gunnar Snipes doesn't snipe my wide receiver, oh, he took the quarterback.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm like Trevor Lawrence couldn't be on the board forever. He took Cole Kmet. I'm gonna take Gabriel Davis because Gabriel Davis might frustrate you. Trust me, if you're in Buffalo, you know Gabriel Davis will have 15 bad weeks where he drops a touchdown, and then he'll have
Hmm.
one week where he puts up like 150 yards, and it's like.
Yeah, definitely some interesting picks still on the board as I look down through the through the board here.
Yeah, I think Matt Stafford just went off the board. Shahan.
I'm assuming Brandon Cooks was drafted, right? Yeah, I can see him there. Never mind. Yeah.
10-6.
Yep. Of course, 3 people I liked all went off the board before me. That's solid. Huh.
You must not be. I must not be the only one liking Chandler, right?
Yeah, I like Chandler a lot. I'm gonna take Dowdle. Just go with some more Dallas players here.
J.K. Dobbins. I have no idea what to do with the Charger backfield.
Yeah, honestly, I just like taking a shot. It feels like. Oh wait, hold on. I'm on the clock here. Damn. If I go, I'm gonna do something really interesting here, just because I want to take him. I'm taking Taysom Hill as my third tight end. I just in case he gets the weird role of he plays quarterback slash running back slash tight end again. Uh, that feels just interesting to me. So yeah, I'll do it. I'm not doing it on underdog because he's listed as a quarterback, so I'm definitely not doing it there. So I'll take a shot here. But yeah, their backfield this year feels like the Dolphins to me last year. Where what I mean by that is like if you would have just drafted any of them, you would have been fine. Like it's just go in and draft one and just hope that they have some sort of impact throughout the year. So I'm fine drafting any of the Chargers running backs this year.
Oh, you turd bath. uh, sorry, I didn't mean to say. Uh, what am I gonna have to draft Will Levis now? Oh gosh, not what I was looking forward to doing. I mean, UK drafting Will Levis.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Now I've got to I don't know. It seems like nobody wants to draft Hunter Henry. Like nobody wants to draft Hunter Henry because he's either going to have Jacoby Brissett or Drake May. But Hunter Henry can be productive, and I mean he'll have a 2 touchdown. He'll have like 1 or 2 touchdown weeks every year.
Mm-hmm. All right. So far my team. So I have Murray and Purdy as my quarterbacks. Running backs, Najee, Corum, and Rico Dowdle. So very light on running backs. I'm going to need to start hitting some running backs here. Wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Christian Kirk, Josh Palmer. And then tight ends are McBride, Ferguson, and Taysom Hill. So no more tight ends for me. Probably not any more quarterbacks. Definitely going to need some running backs. That is for sure. I'll be taking some shots here.
Yeah, I've got Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Josh Allen, Kincaid, Godwin, Hopkins, Deontay, Mostert, Brian Robinson, Tajay Spears, Jack Charbonnet, Gabriel Davis, Will Levis, and Hunter Henry. So,
Nice.
I probably, I mean, I don't. Probably need to draft one more tight end, a couple more backs, maybe a couple more receivers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm.
I mean, Baker. Yeah, I mean, not that Baker's a bad pick here. I don't think Baker's a bad. Oh, speaking of Charger rookie running backs, you took one.
Yep. Yeah, he was sitting there, and I'm like, you know what? I just talked about how I like taking a shot on one, so I'm going to do it. Plus, I have Palmer, so it's a team stack. So I'm either taking wide receiver or running back here. Kind of depends on what's available. Okay, so oh, let's see what the wide receivers look like down the board here. Do I want to take some shots or do I want running back shots later?
Yeah, I've got 12, 12, 11, 5, 11, 12. Yeah, I've got 3 week 12 wide receivers, so don't draft any more week 12 players. Otherwise, you will fired from this draft. I don't know. The running back market here is a little funky. I mean, they're all guys available, but I mean, what do you think about drafting one of the Bears running backs here? Or do you?
Well, if you've watched me at all on Fanspeak, I am a massive Roshan Johnson guy. Is Roshan there or did he get drafted? I don't know where he goes on DK.
Uh,
He's there down the board now. I mean, he's down the board a little bit, so you might be fighting me for him potentially. But I love Roshan. I think he's the best Bears running back. I mean, I think he's better than Swift personally because he's better. He's a better pass blocker, so he's going to be on the field. He's their best pass blocker for sure, 100%. So I love him. Herbert's interesting only because I think he's going to get moved. So you might be able to get a value on Herbert, thinking that he's probably not going to stay with Chicago the entire year. So, but yeah, Roshan's my favorite.
I'm gonna draft Zay Jones because I mean I feel like Zay Jones is a sneaky good value. I mean I don't think he was ever himself with the Jags last year, and with Kyler Murray they're going to throw the deep ball, and Zay Jones can catch the deep ball.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm fine with that. I don't really know what to make of anybody behind Marvin Harrison right now. I mean, Michael Wilson, Jones.
Trey McBride.
Yeah.
I mean, I've drafted a lot of Khalil Herbert. I'm not really one to draft Swift because I think they just gave him the contract because the Bears could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not much of a Swift fan myself.
Hmm. Any good late round guys you like?
I mean, there's plenty depending on what position you're looking at. Like, what are you looking at?
Maybe not quarterback, but running back. I mean, we can mention Roshan Johnson.
Yeah,
You
I
think
mean,
who's the guy in Cleveland? Dante Foreman.
yeah, Foreman. Yeah, I mean, I love Ford. He's my favorite by far. Foreman can be fine if Chubb doesn't come back, until week 8 to 10. Like, then that's a possibility, I think, in my eyes. He could be fine, but also I kind of like to let some of these running backs fall a little bit and see if I can scoop up some value at the end of drafts. I mean, I like, Pierce, Bigsby, CEH, taking a shot on like Dylan Laub. There's a couple guys down here I don't mind taking some shots on. So, but I mean, of course, like if some of these guys just fall, I'll just take them for ADP value as well. Let's see. I think I'm going to take Pop Douglas first. I wanted to get some more wide receivers here.
Yeah, I like mixing in some of the New England wide receivers because I feel like New England. I mean, yeah, nobody wants to draft New England, but I feel like mixing in New England's not the worst idea.
It really is, and I mean, again, like you're probably going to get some starters at the end of the draft. So yeah, I mean, it's really not.
Do like Demarcus Robinson? Yeah, two of us like Demarcus Robinson. Actually, oh wait, you didn't draft him.
No, I'm going to take Herbert though here because he's going pretty late than he does in underdog, and I'll just see if he goes somewhere else.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Now there goes my tight end. I know I'm not taking a tight end, Darren Waller, but I'm trying to think of Darren Waller. I mean, who would be some good late round tight ends you like? I mean, Jelani Woods, Theo Johnson, right?
Yeah, Theo Johnson's interesting. Just because you kind of don't know what they're gonna do at tight end, so I like taking a shot on him right now. Um, Jatavian Sanders is interesting. He could be the one there. I don't mind Gesicki as well, just because it's a good offense to get a guy from. Michael Mayer is interesting to me. I feel like Vegas is going to run a lot of two tight end sets because their offensive coordinator that they have now has been known to do that. So I don't mind taking a shot there. And then, I mean, honestly, Ertz is interesting too, just because I think he's going to be the pass catcher. Everyone likes Sanat, but I do feel like, Ertz is going to be the guy there at least for the first half of the year. So I don't mind taking a shot there as well.
Yeah, trust me. You could. Yeah, trust me. We both know Meg. She's not on the Ben Sinnott train.
No.
I don't know if I should get a wide receiver and then go tight end wide receiver last. I mean, maybe I'll just take. I don't know. What do you think about Chase Claypool this year? I mean, is he worth a flyer?
Who's that?
Chase Claypool.
I mean, people are talking about him. I don't know. I've seen the song and dance before, so I don't know if it's actually going to pan out. But he's getting some steam. I mean, you could do worse, as a pick. So yeah, I mean, it's fine. Plus, you have Kincaid, right? So I mean, you're getting a little team stack there.
Yep. I think the only way I draft Bo Nix this year is in a 3 QB team. Like when I draft JJ McCarthy, I'm drafting him with 3 QBs.
Mm-hmm.
But like if I draft um like if you draft Tyler and Brock Purdy, you don't need to draft the third quarterback. Or if you draft Josh Allen and anybody, you don't need third quarterback.
Yeah, you don't have to. That's the nice thing about kind of drafting that way is that you kind of allow yourself to take a third one if you want, but you most certainly do not have to.
Like, and based on when you draft the tight ends, like if you draft Jake Ferguson and Trey McBride, you probably don't need to draft the third tight end. On the other draft 2 nights ago, I went for Kittle and Sam Laporta. I probably don't need to draft the tight end.
Nah, probably not. I mean,
You took Des Walker.
oh yeah, I like Walker. Mainly just because of the offense.
Yeah, same thing I did with Jalen Tolbert. I'm like, Dallas is going to throw the ball a lot this year.
Yeah. I'm honestly, I think I'm gonna take Javon Baker because I have Pop Douglas, so hopefully one of those guys becomes the guy in New England, and I'll just have whichever one it is.
And then you pray somebody. You know, the biggest mistake I did last year was drafting too much Jared McKinnon and Kenneth Gainwell. I drafted way
Yeah.
too many of those guys, and I'm like, oh crap.
Mm,
I'm trying to avoid overdrafting guys, underdrafting guys, and balancing out my teams.
Yep.
I want to
No, I
get
can
one.
understand. Mm-hmm.
I want to get one of these stall quarterbacks, stall tight ends. Oh gosh, am I really going to draft Chase Claypool? Oh gosh.
I mean, hey, be different a little bit, right? You always got to think, does it make sense to my build? Do I have a correlation? Do I have a stack? Do I have a friendship strategy where it's, another positional player? So, yeah, I mean, as long as it fits the build, I'm always okay with it. It's the people who are taking the one offs that I'm like, it makes no sense for your team. Why would you do that? That's where to me, like, it's a bad pick. But if it makes sense for your build, I have no problem with it. I'm all about the build as opposed to the player.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I would take like a Tucker Craft in the last round because, I mean, even though Musgrave might be the number one, if Kraft gives you one or two touchdowns, that might be all you need. Or Michael May. I don't mind taking these guys late,
Yep. Yep. No, I understand.
especially if you have one of the. Oh, gosh. I've seen some four tight end builds.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
No, feel like you're giving up too much at the running back or wide receiver position.
Definitely.
I've even seen some teams draft Russ and Justin Fields, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm. No.
Yeah. Not in for that. I think I'm going to take Trey Sermon. Evan Hall got hurt. Trey Sermon's now the backup for Jonathan Taylor.
I
So.
drafted him the other night. I'm like, drafted him the other night. I'm like, oof, maybe I'm bringing into something.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad. It's one of the only backup running backs you can still get on the board, so like it.
So your team is CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk, Debo, Christian Kirk, Trey McBride, Jake Ferguson, Kyler, Brock Purdy, Najee, Blake Horn, Joshua Palmer, Rico Dowdle, Taysom Hill, is that Cosmani Vidal, Jaleel McLaughlin? Boy, his value is going to skyrocket if he starts.
Mm-hmm.
Demoya Douglas, Khalil Herbert, Des Walker, is that Javon Baker, and then Trey Sermon. And then my
Yep.
team is Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Josh Allen, Dalton Kincaid, Chris Godwin, DeAndre Hopkins, Deontay, Raheem Mostert, Brian Robinson, Tajay, Zach Charbonnet, Gabe Davis, Will Levis, Hunter Henry, Zay Jones, Roshan Johnson, Deontay Foreman, Jalen Tolbert, Chase Claypool, and Michael Mann.
There
What
you
do you
go.
think?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what do you think?
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Your build is. I mean, your build is fine. Like again, I always look at the team. Like, how does the build look? Did you correlate? Did you team stack? I mean, you did that, so I feel like your team's pretty decent. I like that you have three Buffalo guys. That's an offense you want to be exposed to. Obviously I love Roshan, so that was a great pick there. And just overall, how many you have of each positional player too is fine. So overall, I like your build.
I mean, I always feel like my drafts aren't that great, even though I hit it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you got to be confident in the build, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what it is. I always feel, even though I try and stack, get different guys. Like it seems like nobody wants to draft the Bills this year. I'm like, nobody wants to draft Josh Allen because they don't have Steph Diggs and Gabriel Davis. I'm like, Patrick Mahomes won the last two Super Bowls without Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
I mean, I may have reached a little bit on Kincaid, but I feel like if you draft Josh Allen, you've got to draft Kincaid. Like, I don't know what receiver. Like, I've tried drafting Keon Coleman. I've tried drafting Curtis Samuel. And now I've drafted Chase Claypool. I'm like, what? I've even done drafts where I draft Allen, Kincaid, and James Cook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, like I like to get unique with some of the stacks too. So I think that, there's really not a wrong way to draft. It's just, you got to make sure that your team makes sense somehow.
Yeah, I mean, one time I drafted Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Lamar, and Mark Andrews.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine to me personally.
Sometimes I may go zero running back if I get Bijan and Drake London. But, with today's team, it definitely looked like a quarterback heavy build. I mean, a wide receiver heavy build.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like that's fine.
All right, Andrew. So where can people hit you up?
Yeah, so of course, on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, it's right here below. It's at ARAUB23. Follow me there. It's where most of my stuff goes. Of course, find me over on the Fanspeak network. You can look at us on YouTube, Fanspeak, fanspeak.com. Tons of good articles and stuff there. So, appreciate anybody who joins in our chat. We do live stream best ball drafts 4 days a week, at least, sometimes 5. I'm always on Thursday night at 9:30 Eastern. So feel free to stop by, draft with us, check us out. So appreciate everybody.
And always check me out, host the Big D Podcast, Monkey Spectrum Sports, driving to the top productions. And we will see you later where we might be doing one of our 9 million drafts this year.